So tonight, a conversation with the developer of this very, very cool field test device called the GLAMOS Walk and Walker app.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Slaven. I'm a founder of GLAMOS, and I'll try to give you more information about GLAMOS, GLAMOS Walker, and our GLAMOS Walk app. That's application that is helping you to improve your IoT networks. My background is electrical engineering, and I have 4 years experience in LoRaWAN networks. I'm also a founder of a startup named Agrar, that is system for monitoring agriculture fields based on IoT solutions. So you can also Google it. I will share my screen so you can see it. So Agrar is a system that uses IoT devices to monitor fields, and all these data are used for data analytics, and system give farmers information about possible disease appearance, frost appearance, irrigation need, and similar. While I was developing Agrar devices, I needed some tools to test network coverage before, because 3 and 4 years ago, LoRaWAN networks were still not developed well. So I needed to know where is network, how good coverage is, how many gateways on that location is, and similar things. Because when you go to field, to some vineyard, it is hard when you put your device and see that there is no network, there is no coverage at all, and similar things. So GLAMOS is a result and product that is made because of my own need, and I developed it to make it perfect for myself. So I saw that there is need also on market, and I wanted to share all this time, experience, and knowledge that is invested in development of this device. So you can get a lot of information on our webpage. So GLAMOS is a product, is a name, is a system and a tool that will help you as a developer, as a hobbyist, to test your network, to test signal strength, to test coverage of your network, and all these data are stored so you can analyze them and do many things later. So I have one GLAMOS here. This is GLAMOS Walker. It is device that you can see it is similar to some mobile phone. So it has display on itself, so you can set all possible parameters. You can change different settings without need for reprogramming on your computer and any other way of reprogramming. So it is most user-friendly device for coverage testing on market, and also it is one of the best tools for testing any network, any LoRaWAN network. I will talk more about how you can use it in Helium network. But first, I will tell you more details about the device itself. So it has a rechargeable battery inside, which can run more than 24 hours without stopping. It has a switchable antenna, so you can use whatever antenna you want and test different antennas for your usage. For example, I have this 20 centimeter antenna and also this smaller one. But for why is this useful? When you want to test network, it is not the same when you are testing with small integrated antenna in some GPS tracker or some similar devices, and some doing coverage testing with some bigger antenna. So when you want to do your sensor placement or even hotspot placement, you can put antenna that will be similar to one that you will use in real world, in real conditions. So device is pretty easy for usage. It has power plug. You plug it on, and there is menu for for choosing a lot of information here. So you can use OTAA for your authentication network. So you can use it on Helium, but you can use it on any other LoRaWAN server and networks. So how you use that on Helium? So with device, you get keys for adding device on Helium console. It is fast and easy. You make integration on our VOC app, and you just start using device. What are benefits of using it? Well, for example, you can send easy and fast different messages wherever you are. You don't need, like some other devices, you don't need to go to computer, reprogram it, and similar things. Or most of devices, when join on OTAA, they will give you some spreading factor, which is not possible to change. With GLAMOS, after joining a network, you can set up whatever spreading factor you want and change them and do fast testing. So how can this be good? How can you use that? Well, you join network, go around your house, go around your town, just put send once, choose your spreading factor and press send. And what's happening? Your device will send a message to network, and network will send acknowledgement or some other message to device. And on device screen, you will get RSSI and SNR, which means you can see on display how good signal quality is, and you can do it fast wherever you are. How can you speed up your testing? How can you know what spreading factors are covered on which place? Well, then you can use a multi-sending option that allows you to send on all spreading factors in a row. So with one press of button, device will send on all spreading factors from 7 to 10 or from 7 to 12. But this can be helpful when are you walking around, but it is hard when you want to analyze data later. So, for example, biggest, let's say, competitor in market is Adeonis Field Tester. That is also a device for testing network coverage or signal strength. But Adeonis Field Tester will not allow you to change spreading factors. It will join, for example, on spreading factor 10, and you will not be able to change that. You will be able just to send on that spreading factor. And one bad thing also is that Adeonis will not allow you to save data anywhere. You need to have some your own application. With GLAMOS Walker, you will be able to use our VOC app in together. That's in package with our device. So I'll show you how that looks like. So this is our application, our VOC app. So as you can see here, we have map with some gateways. These blue rectangles are gateways, and these small points are measuring points. Device have inside integrated GPS module. So what can you do? If you walk around and there is GPS signal, you can send coordinates and use our map later to analyze it. So let's see how can we analyze it. So for example, if we click on some of these points, you can see a line which shows you with what gateways, what hotspots device communicated. So what that means, you can see where that hotspots and how good coverage is. And there is pop-out window which tells you how big distance there is. You can see from this point there is 29 kilometers, 24 kilometers, and other. With this device, I tested and I reached 70 kilometers. So it can be really good for even big coverage testings. So on this way, you can do mapping of a whole area. But as a Helium user, probably you are asking yourself, okay, but how can I get some value from this? So imagine you want to set up your hotspot somewhere, but you don't know how good coverage will be. Will it cover whole city? Will it get signal to every place of city and many other things? So with our app, you can just click on gateway and you will get information from which points in map device sent messages. So for example, when we choose some of these, you can see that, for example, this gateway can have great coverage from all over. Maybe from this part it doesn't have coverage, so you can say yourself, okay, maybe something is bad on this side of city, so maybe I can change placement of my gateway, or even I am satisfied with that, so I don't need to do that. On this way, you can do such a great testing, and you can find best placement. There is one customer who bought this device, and what will he do with this device? He also bought one or two rack gateways that are connected to LoRaWAN server, and he will put these gateways on one place, go around with GLAMOS Walker and see how good coverage is on that place for gateway. So he will then replace location of gateway and walk around. And on that way, he will know where he can communicate between gateway and one point. So for example, you want to set up on this blue rectangle, you want to set up your hotspot. So you don't know if here, for example, will be coverage. So you will go here, set up your device on SF12 or SF12, and you will send message. And as you can see, there is communication between these 2 points. So you will know that even if you put other hotspot on this location, there will be communication between these 2 hotspots. So in our app, you can do different testing, you can do different analytics, analytics based just, for example, on devices, analytics based on just on spreading factor. So for example, as you can see on spreading factor 7, which is the lowest and weakest, you can see there is pretty bad coverage in this city. But for example, on SF12, you can see that coverage maybe is better because you can see some further points. Also, you can do filtering and analytics based on different servers. So for example, if you want to just test some public server, for example, we will have soon all Helium gateways added to our map. For example, you can do testing on a public map, but you can do testing on your own. So you will add just your hotspots and your gateways, and you will make coverage mapping just for them. No one else will not be able to see your testings. Also, you can filter it by time. So for example, if you are doing testing on this date, you can see on map just points from these dates. There is a table. So in map are showed just points that have GPS coordinates, but in our table, you will be able to see all points that are measured anyway, anytime. So you can see here there are all data that are sent anytime. As you can see, these last few measurements are made while after a hack started. So I send message and it is showed in our web. When you click on this measuring point, you will get a list of gateways with their signal strengths. This is really important if you want to make something more precise. You want to test just one gateway. So you will be able to see information just about that. So you can choose that also in filter. For example, we will choose one device. We will choose just one gateway. For example, let's choose this. And we will get information just for that gateway. Or even we want to make analytics just for few spreading factors, and you will get just for that spreading factors. So this tool is really useful for hotspot placement, but also for device placement. So when Helium grow up more, there will be more hotspots, there will be better network, better coverage. We will need to use this network because it will be cheap, it will be available for many, many different use cases. Travis showed you this do-it-yourself kits. You will be able to develop some of different usages, but also many of you want develop something, you will buy some devices. So when you buy, for example, some water meter, you don't know if there will be a signal where your water meter is. So what will you do? First, you will go with your GLAMOS walker on that location. You will test it. You will see on what spreading factors there is signal or there isn't signal. You will see how many hotspots in range are. And based on that, you can plan your sensor placement. What does it mean? Well, that means you can plan how long your battery will last, and you can see some other things. What I want to say other and what can be interesting is that GLAMOS Walker can connect on your Wi-Fi, on your internet, and it will give you information about gateways that received your message. So for example, I will now connect to Wi-Fi. It will connect pretty soon. I will send message from device. Okay, send once. I will set it on spreading factor 9 and press send. It will give me information about gateways that are in range. Together, I'm not sure it is not good, but it will give you names of gateways together with RSSI and SNR. You don't even need to use our app to get that, but you can get that on your device. You can get just confirmation from gateway, and that signal strength is not what you send to gateway, that is signal that gateway sent to you. But on this way, using Wi-Fi connection and integration of device to server, you will get on screen how a hotspot heard you. This is great when you want to do fast testing, when you want to do fast analytics wherever you are. These are some of main points. This device have many different options for make testing. So it has sending all SFs in a row, send few messages in a row fast, and it will give you average RSSI, or it can send on some period, so you can set it up, send it every 1 minute. You can put it in your car and drive around, and it will send message every 1 minute and give you information. It is rechargeable. You can put it in your pocket. You will get a hard case to carry it around. In package, you will get 3 different antennas, so you can make testing with 3 different antennas and find the best antenna you fit. You can connect some antenna that you will use on your hotspots, so you can make testing even before your hotspots arrive. So you just need antenna with this device and any LoRaWAN network or server there. So if you have, for example, one hotspot in your city, you can take GLAMOS, you can walk around, and you will see on which places there is connection between already existing hotspots and any other measuring point. And you will know before others. You can set up your gateway there or find better location before RAC, Nebra, and others start delivering you your hotspots. So this is it in short. And one thing more, in application, you can export your data in JSON format, so you can analyze it or store it or whatever you are. So you can visit us on GLAMOS.eu. There are some things to more information to see. You can contact me on Discord or through our contact form or email or whatever. You can find me wherever you want, and I'm open to help you, to give you any information. I have a lot of experience with LoRaWAN communication, so I'm open to share my experience and knowledge if I can help you somehow. So I will now give you some time if someone wants to ask me something. So please feel free to ask anything.
Like you had mentioned earlier, this can be used. I mean, this isn't tied necessarily just to be used with the Walker app, correct? Or the Walk app?
Yeah, you can use it without our Walk app, but you can make integration and get more features and more possibilities with device and also with applications. So
right.
You can use it just itself. You don't need to connect it to our Walk app, but if you want, you can do that. So it is on you, and if you want to save your data or whatever, it is possible to make that. What I didn't mention is that our Walk can be used with different devices. So, for example, if you have already your Adeonis device, you can integrate it to our application, and you can send data from your Adeonis and see everything you saw there. So you can see it on map, you can see it in table, you can store your data, and it can be really useful also with device like Adeonis, which price is similar to this one. You can get something more, so you don't need to throw your Adeonis because it doesn't have all these features. But our app can help you to get more help in your development and testing.
If I have to test this, so can I use two of your devices? Place one at one spot, go on the other spot and test it?
Unfortunately, no. Currently, this device communicates on a LoRaWAN standard. So a LoRaWAN standard does not allow to communicate just between two devices. It can communicate with LoRaWAN gateway. So you can connect it, for example, on the Things network server or any other commercial LoRaWAN network if you have it there in your city, or even you can buy some rack gateways, for example, D0 or D4, and you can connect it on Helium just like regular gateway, and it will receive messages and it will give you information about coverage, signal strength, field testing, and whatever.
So when you say gateway, I assume that you mean
That's
existing hotspot.
Yeah, that's
Existing
hotspot.
hotspot. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
That can be that can be existing in Helium network or any other LoRaWAN network if you want to make testing just until your hotspot arrive, and then you can transfer this device to Helium, of course.
And I see Helium Vision is developing that new features on the devices.
Yeah, Helium, Nick is
Vision.
here. He will talk you more in 7 days, I think. He integrated our device there. So with data from this device and Helium Vision application, you can make more precise hotspot placement and get better earning, I will say at the end.
Yes,
Yeah.
for me,
Cool.
the way I look up, if you have to place indoor, this would be the best device to test before placing it indoor. Outdoor, I know we have a lot more less variables. Indoor have very lot of variables with windows, and this can help us to place it properly inside the house.
Yeah,
Because
when you
multiple windows, multiple directions, so we
Yeah.
can move east or west or north side of the house.
Yes, when you have line of sight, you probably know that there will be connection there, that there will be signal. But when you are in a cities, there is a lot of buildings or your gateways is in indoor. Windows, walls, metal walls, concrete walls, all of these make different effect on signal quality. So you will need to make testing. You will need to set up your hotspot and see how it works, and after a few days make hotspot replacement or change your location, or you can do testing before you set up your hotspot.
Yeah. And if you're in a remote location, that can be way out of your way in order to, have to go back rather than just going and taking, field test readings and operating on that for your deployment. You had mentioned something earlier. I want to kind of go back to this. As far as the Wi-Fi connectivity, and you mentioned connecting to your Wi-Fi, but I think a big usage of this is to have a mobile hotspot on your mobile phone, and then connect to that mobile hotspot, with the GLAMOS device, and to pull, so you are able to pull back down your hotspot names and that information. And the configuration is very simple on this. It uses, what I guess this device sets itself up as an access point. And then I use my mobile phone to connect to this guy, do a quick setup, and then it connects back and can use my cell phone or my mobile as its backhaul and its downlink for the information that it's pulling about these hotspots, right?
Yeah, so you do this testing first time. Device will save your Wi-Fi credentials, your SSID and password, and every next time when you turn on your device, your SSID and password will be saved. You just turn on a Wi-Fi hotspot on your mobile phone, put your mobile phone in pocket, turn Wi-Fi here, and go around testing without any problem.
Right. No, that's very cool.
There are some questions in a chat, so let's see.
Yeah, you pretty much answered mine, Travis, and then you finished it off. Slavin was it easy to use, and you pretty much simplified the answer there. Thank you.
Yeah, so there's one question: do you have to use credit for it? When are you sending messages through Helium network? You'll need data credits, but device itself doesn't have any credits, so that's it. So I talked with Travis before, and we prepared something for you. So Helium is supporting all community and all tools and systems that are developing around Helium. So we prepared a small gift for you. It is a discount for buying our GLAMOS Walker. So you can see here discount code that will expire in 24 hours. So for fastest and luckiest, you will get a GLAMOS Walker. So you can make with lower price. So you can make your testing faster, easier, more user friendly, and probably in future we are all time updating and improving our device and web application. So you will have everything up to date with best features that you can find on market.
What's the wait time on this?
So we have some in stock, and probably we will ship it in 7 or 10 days after we receive payment. And shipping is pretty fast. To USA, shipping was 5 to 7 days last time we shipped. So
I think a number of people in the community already have these in hand, and so I know the shipping it seemed to be pretty quick.
I get my two on Friday. Thanks.
Nice.
I had one question, Slevin, that was in there. So, can we try out different antennas? And if so, are we setting the transmit power on this device, or is it preset?
Okay, so you can set up whatever antenna you want. There is even menu inside of device, so you can set in menu what antenna you are using with numbers, and it will send that number inside of payload. So you can later in our app, you can see, okay, this message was sent with this device and this antenna, so you can compare that and similar. Currently, it is set up on just one takes power, but later there will, in next updates, there will be menu for choosing even sending power.
Okay. So I've got a question there, because on the antenna menu, I mean, you can see that you have, the GLAMOS comes actually with 3 different antennas.
Yes.
And so this is the large that it has on it right now, and you can see it's set to this. But if I wanted to, and I'm going to power this off just for this, but if I wanted to remove this and put just, like an SMA to UFL, so I can test like a UFL based antenna that might go into a small node or a small device. If I pull the numbers off of like a vector network analyzer, is that something that I can enter as the specs on a particular antenna and then match that on the back end?
Yeah, so we can on backend you will get information which antenna number you will get. For example, now in menu you can see antenna 0 is large, 1 is medium, and 2 is small. But for example, if you have some of your antennas, you just need to remember what antenna is which number, and you can compare that later. But in analytics, probably in future, we will include more of these features for doing analytics, including antenna quality and some other things. But you can export all this data in JSON and you can do yourself some analytics and testing from this data.
So just as an example, this is the, and you probably recognize it. These are those stubby antennas that actually work really, really well. And you know, one of these is included, and this is, I guess, tuned to the small setting on this guy. Yeah. So
yeah, it depends. It depends what do you want to use. As it is said on our webpage, 3 different antennas. That smallest is 0 dBi, so it is it does not have big gain. This biggest is 2.1 dBi, which is one of the best antennas I used, and I used a lot of different antennas. But what it depends what will you use and for what use cases. So for example, when are you in a field in vineyard, probably you don't need this big antenna, but with this antenna I have 60-kilometer communication all time on spreading factor 10. So it depends. You need to test that. You need to know your use case. You need to know your environment. So there's many factors that can affect your LoRaWAN signal. So you can. That's the reason why you can change antenna on device and test what you want. So if you buy, for example, a rack antenna from 50 centimeters, you can just connect it on this device and do testing with that antenna also.
Hey, Slaven, I think we took your site down because a lot of us aren't able to actually add any of them to the cart.
I haven't been able to get to anything. It's
It's working during the presentation because I filled up a cart, and then I think as the discount code got announced, it kind of crashed.
I know you already answered this question, but let me ask you one more time. So we can use our antennas which are going to deploy on this, right?
Can you repeat, please? I didn't hear you well.
So I can use the antennas, let's say 5 dBi, 5.8 dBi, or 8 dBi antenna, which I'm going to put at the spot. I can use at your device, test it out, and then use it.
Yeah. So there is SMA female connector on device, and you can use just some connector or cable. So you can convert your antenna connector to this, and you can do testing with whatever antenna you want.
This is great. I know. So it solves a lot of problems. So which antenna to use, whether 5.8 or 3 or 8, we can already test it and then decide based on the results.
Yeah, because of all Helium rules that are in HIP 15 or HIP 17 rules, you need to have specifically range of RSSC and specifically range of signal to noise ratio. So it is not good to have best or too good SNR, signal to noise ratio. So big antennas are not, in this case, are not the best solution, but for some other, in most cases, bigger antenna is better antenna. But in this Helium, you need to find some golden middle to have best coverage and to have best signal to make highest earn from your hotspot.
So speaking of coverage and speaking about what I was planning with my network, I've noticed with the elevation, excuse me, and when I have a point A to point B and the elevation is going down, I'm normally getting a really good range, really good connection with my antenna. But when the elevation is increasing, what I wanted to do was find out exactly kind of where that range ended. So I call it the alley-oop hotspot when I place my next one, so it can reach the further distance gateway that I'm trying to reach, where my main goal is trying to reach the city and connect it to the suburbs. And I may not be able to get it all with just from my 8 dBi antenna or 5.8 dBi antenna. I want to see exactly where it ends. So then I can see, all right, cool. The coverage ends here. I can put a hotspot in this location. And it seems like this device would be perfect for mapping that out. Am I getting that correctly?
Yeah, that's correct. Currently, we don't have any of hexagons or area where you can make this kind of fast testing, but Helium Vision is more oriented to helium hotspot placement, and you can choose some location of hotspot placement, and it will show you this measuring point, so you can see in what area it is best to set up. Helium recommend not closer than 300 meters, but it is not good to go further. So you need to find some golden point between these two. And yes, with this device, you can make testing, go around, find which area is good cover, has good coverage, which area doesn't have at all coverage, and find place where your hotspot will make best communication. So
yeah, and actually we have Nick from Helium Vision. I think he's on this call, and I've been playing around with Helium Vision. Just we could do like a quick kind of demo of using a third-party application with the GLAMOS device. You know, pulling all the information that this thing is getting you out in the field, you know, in real time over into a different interface. Nick, are you on here, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Well, cool. And the way we have this set up, I have this. If I can share my screen, I think I can pull this up with the GLAMOS, you know, broadcasting live from here. It's just going to be my house, so please don't stalk me, people. But and so everyone can at least get a kind of glimpse of what we're talking about here.
okay, I see in chat that people have problem with our shop. So if there will be problem, just contact me and we will find a way to fix that. So just send me a message, email or a message on Discord, and we will fix that.
How do you reach you? I mean, can you, put your Discord ID on the Happy channel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, here is in chat now, so you can copy it or
Perfect.
you can just ping me.
And please hang out so we can kind of talk over this interface while I pull this up, if you don't mind. I think I can share through here. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so what we're doing here, we go over to devices, and I'm at this point going to let Nick kind of talk through, and I'm going to try to follow with my mouse if that works for everyone.
Yeah, right. Live demos, that always goes well. So here we're just getting ready to launch devices and uplinks, and we've been fortunate enough to get our hands on the GLAMOS. Both I have one and Travis has one, so we've been working on the integration. As Slaven said, the integration is going through the Helium console, and then the integration at that point pivots over to Helium Vision rather than to the Walker app. And you can actually do both. So right. in this case, Travis already has his GLAMOS added and configured, so he can now just click on that. And here at the top where you see latest state, if you're familiar with uplinks, sometimes devices send their entire payload over multiple packets, right? To try to keep the uplinks small. And so what you see there is a combined stack of all the uplinks that would generate the total device state. In this case, the GLAMOS, we're interested in lat long and altitude. I believe Slaven also has exposed the antenna variable, although we're not tracking that in Helium Vision yet. But one of the cool features that Travis touched on, and I think Slaven touched on as well, the ability to create a query, a placement query from an uplink. So the real world scenario is you go out, you climb on the roof of a building, and you trigger that uplink.
Which I'm doing now. I'm going to trigger this, okay?
Yeah. So it sends out that uplink. hits the Helium console. Helium console then sends it off to Helium Vision. And assuming that the decoder is working right, which it sounds like we've been having a little bit of trouble, but this time it worked. You'll notice the latest uplink was just received at 6:09 p.m. and you'll notice the arrow right below it where it says create query placement. Actually, go up a little bit, Travis, right there. If he clicks on that, it'll go and drop a placement query at that lat long with the elevation that the GLAMOS was at. And then from there, you do all the stuff that you would normally do, right? You can track the placement, give it a name, address, notes. You can run an RF simulation. So yeah, I didn't have a ton of time, so this worked out good that we'll keep this brief. But yeah, I'm super stoked that we were able to work with Slavin and get that integrated. And I gotta say, his customer service is great. He's been working with me and Travis on getting the firmware stuff resolved, and I'm super excited to get out in the field and use this. So great job, Slavin.
And another thing, just to kind of bring this up, is anything that has this target to the right, well, some of these are still going to be through testing, but if we have this, then I can go over to inspect and I can go back through my history here, see the last 20 uplinks that I took a measurement point at and go back and put placements in on that. That's pretty slick.
Yeah, and kind of the purpose of that is you could go out for a day and trigger uplinks in all the placements that you wanted to test. And
Right.
then when you come back to your desk, you would be able to go create those placements and you'll historically know. And of course, some devices, not every single uplink has GPS. So that's why you have that, that little icon there to indicate that that's an uplink that contains position data.
And what's important, and I'm glad you mentioned this, that you can have multiple integrations. So you can run the Walk app, you can run Helium Vision, you can run Cargo, and Cargo is going to give you, a real-time tracking. I mean, if you haven't played with Cargo, it was developed as an in-house kind of utility at Helium, but we've since open sourced it. And you could use this. I believe some companies are actually using this for their main mapping setups. But right now it's a public kind of pool where all devices are in there. But if you're out, doing war driving and you need a real-time mapper, then you can absolutely just one-click integrate that from a device and push that over. We also have the mapping system that Kent and a number of other people have put a lot of time into at this point, where you can see real on the ground mapping information, right? And you can feed into all of these integrations at the same time. So there's no reason that you're bound to one particular integration by any means.
Yeah, Nick, do you know when is the device feature getting rolled out?
Well, I think Travis told me that the console situation is going to be resolved in the next day. So fingers crossed, we should be able to make it live, I would say, in the next couple days. And I don't know if Travis mentioned it earlier. I'm going to be on next week on Hacks with Alex from Cloud RF, and we're going to do a top to bottom demo of Helium Vision. And at that same time, we'll cover devices and uplinks in depth. And hopefully by then we can do some more live demos with some devices.
That's amazing. Now, just hats off to you, Nick, and the other team. I worked for telecom industry in AT&T and as a design engineer for 15 years. I can watch out how expensive these tools are as a professional world. And what you are giving out is for peanuts. What you have developed, $50 and $100, it just, that's like, we pay like thousands and hundred thousands of dollars for each tools.
Yeah.
And what we have given is $50 to $100. And devices, each device is like $10,000, $15,000.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that everybody thus far is thinking that it's working well and adding value to the community. And I'm certainly excited to continue to develop features that put power in the hands of the people who want to use the network. Right now, a lot of the tools are oriented towards hosts, but I'm really excited for the devices and the uplinks and building prototyping interfaces for folks who want to actually use the network, because that's what's going to make this thing drive over the long run is network adoption. So that's certainly on my radar, and I'm excited about that. So thank you guys so much. I have to run. I will see you next week, and I'll be on the whole time and would be happy to answer tons of questions. So you guys have a great evening. Cheers.
Take care.
See you later.
And I've got to say to everyone in the community here, how cool it is to be able to actually talk to the people who developed this, the people who developed this software. Who I mean, you're talking to the creators of what what you can go out in the field and use here. And I just want to thank everyone who comes on the show and demonstrates some of the software, the hardware, the projects that they're building, and shares that with the community. That really does mean a lot to me, and I know a lot of other people here. So sincere thanks for that.
Travis, I have a quick question for Slavin, if I may.
Go.
Let's say that we are deploying sensors in a multi-story building. Would your device be able to help us pinpoint the device and how it communicates with the gateway, through cement walls and all? Would that be a valuable tool for us?
Yeah, it can be valuable for you, but currently we don't have a mapping inside of building because GPS signal is pretty low inside of building. But device on its screen has a counter, so you can make testing from one place in building and just mark it on the side what counter of that message was. So you can move to other place in building and just mark a counter, and later in a table you can do analytics and see how good signal quality was, on what spreading factors signal went through on every of these points.
Yeah, and that's one of the huge uses of this device, I think, because you just correlate those data sets, like you say, jot notes and say, okay, I was at this point, by the printer, when I took this reading. And then if I have, let's say, in a big city, New York City, I may hit, or San Francisco, I may hit, dozens and dozens of hotspots around me, if I open up to pull all of these down at once. And so I'm going to have information from a number of different directions that I can really, like you said, run analytics against this and see what type of, and if you want to go completely crazy, you can bring in charts that talk about different construction materials and what type of glass we're talking about, what type of sheetrock, and really pull those into your radio equations. But this device is absolutely perfect for something like that.
Excellent, I appreciate that. Our application would be deploying devices in multi-story buildings and being able to plot where we want to place the gateway. So this sounds like it would be a very effective tool, for what our use would be.
I would say that currently on the market, this is a device that is closest to the perfect needs for you, because all other devices for testing network coverage and signal strength will allow you, for example, just to connect to network with OTA and set up just one spreading factor, and you will not be able to see how good quality is on all signal strengths. So with this, you can test from spreading factor 7 to 12. You can do signal testing in whatever way you want. You can change payload size. You will be able to change your sending power size. So there are many features you can use in this use case. And also setting up different antennas is big benefit in this kind of use case.
This is effectively the brainchild of a guy who said, look, nothing on the market meets my requirements. And so he went out and built this. And so yeah, I've been loving this thing. You can't get this out of my hand since it's come in the mail. So no, this thing, if you have a chance, please pick one up You know, a few days shipping, but I really feel you're going to be happy with it. One thing I did want to mention too, there's a dedicated GPS screen. If you just need to, if you just want to have your GPS coordinates in front of you on a screen, you can pull this up. You have been absolutely phenomenal as far as support. I think that you, I've gone through a number of different firmware revisions here, just you know, trying to tune things up with the Helium network, because this doesn't just support Helium. I mean, this will support any LoRaWAN network that you're wanting to integrate with or test against. And so, you know, keep that in mind, that you know, Helium OTA only at this point. It's something that we've worked and gotten this where this is solid. I'd say this is the coolest device that runs on the Helium network right now.
So,
Yeah.
and also this device will give you information about packet error rate, which means you can send 100 messages and it will calculate you how many messages server received. So network, how many messages hotspot received, and it will tell you what percentage is that on every of spreading factors. So you can send on 100 messages on spreading factor 7 and 100 messages on spreading factor 10, and it will tell you, okay, you lost 30% on spreading factor 7 and 10% on spreading factor 10, without any additional analytics and your calculation.
I guess there's a setting there to do like a transmission period. What's the different breakdowns of like transmission period? Is it like 10 seconds or 30 seconds and 1 minute, 5 minutes?
Currently it is 1 minute to 30 minutes with 1 minute step, but if there will be need, we can add more possibilities with smaller steps, half minute or whatever need there will be. So Travis already said we had already few firmware revisions and changes. So I'm trying to give all features that someone in real use case will need. There's already a lot of options you can use. Currently, it is easy for usage with this menu and everything, but I will try my best to allow you best tool and to make it even better than it is currently.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
I know like quite a lot of people like drive.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. My purpose with the GLAMOS will be to do war driving around and start mapping up. I'm going to do some mapping. We are expecting to have a lot of hotspots popping up soon, and I'm going to drive around the nearby cities. So if there would be an option to have a smaller rate when we are on the highways or the fastest roads, it would be beneficial. The 1 minute, it's already good when you are walking, etc. But when you are war driving around, to get a thinner detail of which areas do have coverage for the Helium network, it would be helpful.
I will have that in mind.
Awesome, thank you.
You could, if you really wanted to, you could even make that dynamic. Look at the change in GPS location and set it to transmit every quarter mile or whatever.
Yeah, I will put that on a list of possible updates in the future.
These are just some points that that I had from yesterday going through. But for example, once I got up on the freeway, you see this was set at a 1 minute time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you know, going, yeah.
Yeah, it's 50 or more kilometers in 1 hour. So I can update it to make smaller steps like 10 seconds, 30 seconds or something like that. that will come in next updates.
I know some people that like to have 4 or 5 devices sat in their cars.
No way.
Driving around.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
I've seen. I don't do that, but
yeah, here is Adrian. He is using his hand to say he is the one.
I've got 3 of the tags in my car,
Are they working well for you, the tags?
Not really.
Really? I've actually had rather good luck with them. I think.
Well, I have good luck with using the one just hanging from the mirror and pushing the button whenever I want to do a map. But what I was trying to do was I had 3 of them set up, and I clicked the button 1 minute apart, since they have a 3 minute. The minimum is 3 minutes, so I had one firing off every minute. But yeah, that didn't actually work out that well for me.
Yeah, I mean, as far as devices, I've got one of the Digital Matter Oysters, like with a 3M Velcroed onto the top of my car. And I have it so whenever I'm moving, I'm running that thing really hot. So I'm pushing data through it. I don't have a map up, I don't believe right here, but as long as it stopped and it's not moving, then it only does a heartbeat once a day, once every 24 hours, right? And so as far as battery life, I think it runs on 3 AA's, and you use those blue energizers, and I've gotten what, 1.5 years so far, maybe, out of these. Of course, I haven't been driving as much this past year, but those are very solid devices as far as mapping is concerned. The antennas, the way they're designed, they're nice devices just to have on the top of your car, just to do tracking, and with all of these hotspots really blowing up, the coverage has been phenomenal, really, on where you're tracking, because I don't necessarily need to know where my car is within 2 meter accuracy, roughly, and from that I can ascertain what my speed is, what location, where like mileage, if I'm doing tracking mileage for a corporate vehicle or whatnot. I don't need to have super accurate 5-second 2 meter accuracy, and I think with any type of GPS or locational program, you need to keep that in mind. I mean, how accurate does this need to be, and what power requirements is that going to take in order to hit that mark? Because if I don't need that accuracy, then maybe I just need to know if I left my keys at my parents' house or at my house, and then I can look for them. But or then maybe I can push a downlink and say, okay, I want you to turn a GPS on, or I want you to turn a BLE on, or where I can beacon from my phone, or there's something that can get me a more granular level of a geo access at that point. But I mean, all of these radios come at a price, and that price is what your power consumption is. And so you have to be really careful with any battery operated device, especially for trackers, that you don't want to have to charge every day, that or every month, or even every year necessarily. How do I break that power up into the radios that I'm using, and when I'm using those radios? So. And okay, that being said, you could turn the radios off on this thing if you're not using Wi-Fi, if you're not using GPS. I mean, I think, right?
Yeah, you can disable Wi-Fi, you can disable GPS. So but with this battery, as Travis already said, it have 3000 milliamp hours inside, so it is some kind of mobile phone. You can use it at least 1 day with sending. So when are you sending all the time, doing testings, you can be sure that when you charge it, go outside, you can do it whole day. But when you just leave it plugged on, probably even more than 1 day, but it can last long. So
yeah, and that's not that doesn't even go into low power mode, right? I mean, what is the sleep state on the screen?
Currently it is not going to, because in most cases you will use it all the time. So I still didn't implement that, didn't put that in this version of firmware. So,
and it didn't need it. I mean, if this can make it through an entire day, then that's typically, I mean, I can charge off of something, at the end of a day, if I am using it in the field. What is nice is you can read the screen. You may not can read it on this webcam, but in direct sunlight, you can absolutely read this screen, which is cool, which is a big deal. Like some screens, I mean, they're junk, you know, they're junk when you're in direct sunlight. And so I think that's really nice.
Sorry if you guys answered this already, but I was just wondering while you were talking about that, if I wanted to just set it up at a location and just have it run in intervals, you know, every 5 minutes or every 15 minutes, is that a setting that's possible?
Yeah, you can set it up on some spreading factor. You can set up your time. There is USB cable that comes with a device in a case, so you can connect it up on some power supply on 5 volts and leave it, and it will work like any other sensor device. It will send all the time. So,
or just plug it into like a 5 volt, you know, to AC charger, you know, via your cable. And
yeah, like mobile phones. So.
Yeah. Those are very nice cables that you include, by the way. I gotta say, I like your choice of cables.
You could potentially use this, I know, have this set up with like a solar panel or something, just set up out in the field to if you wanted to, just if you didn't have power nearby or something like that.
Well, and they have those little 5 volts like USB phone chargers with a solar panel on top. That, I mean, you could.
Yeah, you can use some power bank or whatever which have USB connector inside, and you can double size of this battery, or you can plug whatever power bank you have, so you can drive around for 10 days if you want, and it will work.
And just to comment on how large like 3,000 milliamp hours is, on how long this will run. I was kind of joking the other night, talking about putting a smaller battery in this, so I could fit what I call them QIs. I know that's not how you pronounce it, but where you could just, you know, set it down on this and it charges the guy back up, right? Which I talked about a while back. But
I think it's pronounced Qi.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna call them QIs.
I call it QI, so quick charger, QI charger.
I don't get it.
I'm a little stubborn there, but yeah. But no. This battery is huge in here, and but I do have a question. How do I find out how much battery is left?
Yeah, that will come in next firmware update.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just don't let it run down between now and then, Travis.
Yeah, right. Nah, we're good. No, this is gorgeous, man. This is a gorgeous device. Thank you very much for coming on. I wasn't even looking at the time. I just got carried away here. I didn't realize.
I'm glad you enjoyed. So in good company, time flies.
Yeah, exactly, man. And thank you so much for coming on and going through this with us. I've just been loving this thing. If you haven't noticed,
thank you for calling me here. I'll be here. I'll be with you I'm all time on Discord. So if anyone have any questions, you can contact me on Discord channel with message. You can send me email. I put it in chat. I see that our shop is currently unavailable, I think. So please send me a message in Discord or send me email. So we will make sure that you don't miss this discount, or so we can make it work.
Perfect.